Well, on the flip side, Democrat John Gregg, who's been the candidate for over a year now, he's introduced lengthy, specific policy proposals, as you can see in his first answer about his own road funding proposal, though many Republicans still don't like how he accomplishes it.
We are living in a day and age right now. First of all, we're taking $500 million that Governor Daniels set in what he called the New Generation Trust Fund. The new generation's here. We can leverage that $500 million over a 10-year period to about $3.2 billion. It'll create 56,000 jobs. It'll help us make up that $300 million shortfall we have each year. And what people need to realize, this is not going to affect our bond rating at all in Indiana, our credit rating. Money right now to borrow is cheap. Now is the time to be doing that.
There is some wiggle room in terms of the reserve level, obviously, but the thing that Republicans have sort of clung to is whatever the number is, we need to make sure we keep that AAA bond rating. How important to you is keeping that AAA bond rating and thus keeping reserves levels of probably at least around 1.7, 1.8 billion?
I think it's prudent that we have that fund there. I think we need to keep that AAA bond rating. But by the same standpoint, it's like when I get criticized for wanting to fund full-day kindergarten, a sizable amount of that money comes from federal tax dollars, your and I tax dollars. We've found the money, Glenda Ritz and I, have to implement full-day kindergarten without a tax increase. We've found the money to improve our roads and bridges without a tax increase. It comes from studying and understanding the budget.
I want to talk about the idea of expanding to sort of universal pre-K right away. Does it make sense to take that big leap into universal pre-K right away, or should it be a more gradual process?
We talk about a 3-year, it takes 3 years to get to it, exactly for what you say. If we went out and found the money tomorrow to implement it statewide, we couldn't do it statewide, but we are convinced we can do it in 3 years.
Obviously, there's only so much that the governor can do. We just saw a legislative study committee on LGBT rights with no progress, no attempts at compromise from either side of this issue, and doesn't seem to be a lot of hope that something will get done. What do you envision you can do as governor?
There's a lot I can do as governor. Number one, the very first thing I will do as governor is sign an executive order that will apply to members of the LGBT community that make up the 33,000 state employees, giving them civil rights protection. That's number one. Number two, I will make sure that as we are working, and the state is a huge contractor, we contract with a lot of businesses. We will want to make sure in our RFPs and RFQs, when the state's doing bidding, is working with companies that have LGBT protections. When we are out trying to recruit new businesses to come to Indiana, we will want to work and make sure that they have LGBT rights and recognize those civil rights. The fourth thing we do, and all of this is lead by example, because what these really are quality of life issues. But the fourth thing we'll do is we'll mention it in our State of the State address. I will ask the legislature to pass it. You know, do I think they're going to pass it in 2017? No. But I think by 2018, there's a real good chance they will.
When you look at unemployment that's been nearly cut in half, when you look at all of these business climate rankings that put Indiana tops in the Midwest, near the top of the country, is it a hard sell then to say things aren't on the right track, elect me and we can get back on the right track?
You know, it's not, because you got to scratch the surface a little. We have the 7th best business climate in the United States. We're 49th in new business startups. So what good does it do to have the 7th best business climate? It's because we're not a welcoming state. Why is our unemployment low? We lost in the 2008 recession. We lost jobs paying $20, $25 an hour, and we've replaced them with $10 and $11 an hour jobs. Hoosiers are working harder and harder each and every day, and they're not seeing anything in their paychecks. That's what we've had the last 4 years. We've had an administration focused on social issues and mediocrity.